Hello everyone, welcome to Grand Prix Malmo once again. It's round 11, that's Jackie Lee. On the right, this is Rich Hagan, along with Frank Carsten. Say hello, Frank.
Hi guys.
Kenieres Akos is Jackie Lee's opponent here in round 11.
And we just had Jackie Lee on to discuss her draft deck and the way her draft went. She ended up with a nice red-white aggressive deck with some interesting cards in there. She has, for example, the Gold Knight Commander, really a card that allows you to break through a board, as well as stuff like Thatch Revolt to combo with it, Vigilante Justice with a bunch of humans. So a nice red-white human-themed deck. What does Kenieres Akos? I'm probably
you did fine, Frank.
butchering his name.
Well, we do that from time to time. He's green-blue, Forest and Island, 17 land, 9/8. As Jackie kicks off with Thraben Valiant. You're looking at a couple of Griff Vanguard, 2 Geist Snatch main. That's interesting. Got double Crippling Chill. A single Devastation tile. He's actually got 2. He's playing 1, second in the board. Double Nefarious Smuggler, but no Mist Raven to abuse with it. Snapskin Drake and Wingcrafter. In terms of combat tricks, this is interesting. Triple Joint Assault. So he really wants to get involved with combat. Uses a Crippling Chill early for card draw. Got a Borderland Ranger. Pathbreaker Worm at the big end, playing 1 of 2 Vorst Claws. Now, both of these lost their opening round, so both players are now at 8 and 2 coming into round 11. Jackie has exactly when you'd want it if you're going to be playing with the Angel's Tomb. Turn 3 seems about right. Nettle Swine for Kenieres is pretty big. And of course the Thraben Valiant not untapping, thanks to the Crippling Chill.
Exactly. Looking at Jackie Lee's decklist a bit further, she has a couple of weak cards, like say double Midnight Duelist, Commander's Authority, cards that you're not super excited about to put in your deck. Reason for that is that in the draft she was also looking to go into blue. She spent a couple picks on blue cards, even though she switched to red in the end. Nevertheless, she has a fine red-white deck, and cards like Midnight Duelist, well, if you would play them to turn an Angel's Tomb into a big flyer, it's still fine. So, Wild Defiance coming down for Kenieres Akos. That's an enchantment that says, whenever a creature you control becomes the target of an instant or sorcery spell, that creature gets +3/+3 until end of turn.
I have 2 words for you: Joint and Assault.
Yep.
You've got 3 of them. It all becomes a bit clearer. That's like a 2-card combo, Frank. We should do something on 2-card combos.
Oh yeah.
Turns out Frank's been busy looking at some of the cards in Avacyn Restored and how you can pair them together. So we'll take a look at some of those, perhaps after this round.
Joint Assault doesn't target, only targets 1 creature, not the creature that might be paired with. So the paired creature won't get a bonus from the Wild Defiance, but still it turns it into a +5/+5, a pretty big swing. So Jackie Lee has the aggressive start over here with Lightning Mauler, thinking about whether to soulbond it or not with another creature.
So, for example,
So the Angel's Tomb becomes a flyer again. Looks like she did not soulbond the Lightning Mauler yet with anything. It also, if she doesn't have another creature in hand, she can soulbond it with Angel's Tomb if she likes for the turn, and then give Lightning Mauler haste. Ah, there's a Midnight Duelist.
One,
She can
two.
also soulbomb those two to give all her creatures haste. Yeah, that seems to be what
Smash.
she's doing.
Send the team. How
That's a
about you?
lot of damage.
Wow.
I'm curious why Kenyaris actually decided to attack with his Nettle Swine against an aggressive red-white deck, already facing the Moorland Inquisitor and the Traben Valiant. I might be more inclined to just keep it back to block.
But he's more inclined to block now.
And now definitely when he's down to 7 life already. Yeah, that Lightning Mauler with another guy coming in all of a sudden was some surprise extra damage, of course.
It's worth saying though that he may be setting himself up. You see, we've got a second creature there. He's got a Wingcrafter in hand, I notice, at least I think he has. If you have double Joint Assault, and you're flying in with 2, Wingcrafter pair up with Nettle Swine, Joint Assault, swing them round. That's actually just a lethal strike with 2 creatures.
It's a lot of damage.
Yeah, that would just be lethal. So he only needs to survive, because he's attacked once with the Nettle Swine and put Jackie to 16. A Wingcrafter paired up with double Joint Assault, and there's Wingcrafter. I'm not saying
Yep.
he has that Joint Assault, the double joint. Double joint, sorry, no pun intended.
He does appear to have one in his hand.
Okay.
So yeah, especially in combination with the Wall Defiance, Jackie has to be careful not to die to
16
a
is
swine
not a
all
lot
of a
right
sudden.
now. Yeah,
It looks like a lot, but
it does, and it really isn't. But of course we know that he's got all these Joint Assaults, which currently Jackie doesn't.
Yep.
I mean, you obviously have to wonder, as soon as someone plays a card like Wild Defiance, your choices are either to think, yeah, that seems odd, or to go, there must be a reason, and then think through what the reasons are.
Exactly. And yeah, it's quite easy to arrive at the Joint Assault, especially in this format.
Yeah. So
Jackie going for Thatcher Revolt.
Okay, let's change some math.
Yep. Angel's Tomb triggers whenever a creature enters the battlefield, I believe. Yep. So that also works with Thatcher Revolt. Turning it on.
3 times.
Yep.
I'll make it be a fly. I'll make it be a fly. I'll make it be a fly. Smash.
Swinging in with everything. Here I have 8 creatures in total. You only have 3 blockers. You figure it out. And with Kenyaris already down to 7 life, yeah, that's a tough block.
Yeah. I mean, he can survive, obviously.
So Kenyaris is probably going to make use of his Joint Assault, blocking the Nettle Swine, blocking Angel's Tomb with Nettle Swine, the Lightning Mauler with Wingcrafter, both of which he will bump up, and yeah, putting his Borderlands Ranger in front of the 2-1 rather than the 1-2. Yeah, he has
out
to.
That's a real beating. That Joint Assault.
Yeah, he has to put his Borderlands Ranger in front of the 2-1 rather than the 1-2, because otherwise he would just die. He goes down to 1 on this attack. So Jackie Lee loses 3 creatures in the exchange, but puts her opponent down to 1 life, making even a lowly Midnight Duelist lethal at this point.
What it also does is it makes Pillar of Flame a game ender.
Definitely. Yep.
Don't think she ever got as far as a Thunderous Wrath. No, but
another lethal creature. They may look small, the 1-2s, but when your opponent is at 1 life...
They do, Frank. They look small. You're not going to convince me. I accept that this is a time where they're okay.
Yep.
Has it come to this? Has. Midnight Duelist. Okay.
No, another blocker.
Pathbreaker Worm. 6-4. Obviously nothing it can soul bomb with. You see the purple counters to indicate Wingcrafter and Nettle Swine are loaded up.
Yeah, Canyeras would like to start attacking, but he just can't. He needs all his creatures to be able to block.
Is 1 joint assault enough right now? Nettle Sentinel 4-3. Wingcrafter, that's 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You give it the bonus. It's just 12.
No, it's not
isn't it?
enough.
It's only 12. So there's Hanway Lancer for Jackie. Pair up with the already potentially first striking Malmo Rd Inquisitor.
Yeah, might be strange to pair up with a creature that can already get first strike, but now she has 4 power over the first strike on the board, which might allow her to double block the Pathbreaker Worm if need be.
And also, she's only got 5 mana up, and it's pretty intensive for the Malmo Rd Inquisitor. It would potentially rob her of an entire turn.
Yeah, she did not have the mana that turn to be able to give it first strike indeed. So now Jackie has an interesting choice. She can swing in with all of her creatures.
Voice the Provinces is going to meet Guy Snatch. So there will be a token, but it won't be the 1/1 human that comes with Voice the Provinces.
Yeah,
it will be the 1/1 Flying Spirit that comes with Guy Snatch.
Yeah, that's big. As it turns out, if Jackie had not played the Voice of the Provinces, but rather attacked with all 4 of her creatures, she would have won the game. But of course she doesn't know what Canyeras has in his hand. For all she knows, she could be running into, well, a bounce spell that bounces 1 of her creatures and then she loses all of her remaining creatures on the attack. Guy Snatch was probably the best card that Canyeras could have there.
Right now, he doesn't have the best cards he could possibly have. He's got an island and a forest.
Guys are fired.
Yes, take out the Wingcrafter.
And now she's still in the same position. Attack with everything. Well, if Canyeras doesn't have anything, she just wins. If Canyeras does have, say, Appeal from Reality or a bounce card or anything like that.
Yeah.
No, but she does decide to go.
He says in, and he goes, yeah, you got me.
Yeah.
So 1-0 to Jackie Lee here in round 11.
Yep. Yeah, some interesting interactions in this game. The Lightning Mauler really at the beginning of the game, allowing Jackie to play it in 1 turn, pair it up with another creature immediately, which was just a lowly 1/2, which in a sense might be a bit strange to give like a 1/2 haste. You could also consider like keeping the Lightning Mauler up and just giving another creature haste later on. But that 1 damage that she got this way by giving her Midnight Duelist haste did end up mattering a lot. Difference between 1 life and 2 life that Canyeras would be at in the end.
Lightning
would
Mauler,
be huge.
Yeah, Lightning Mauler feels like an extremely difficult card to know what and when to soul bond with.
Yeah.
Because when you cast it with no ability, when you choose for it to be blank, when you cast it, the fact that you're giving up what could be a 2/1 haste monster for 2, that feels like a really significant downgrade on what you could be having right then, right there, in and of itself.
Yeah, she could have chosen to soul bond it with the artifact, the Angel's Tomb, which could work for that turn and then loses the bond on the next turn. So just giving your Lightning Mauler haste for a turn, swinging in, and then at the end of the turn it's free to bond with another guy again. At least that would have been my first inclination. But the play that she made, giving her 1 power guy haste, did end up basically winning her the game. That 1 point of damage mattered a lot. And also at the end of the game, she had 4 creatures to Canyeras' 3. It's always a tricky spot to be in, because like, if your opponent doesn't have anything and you attack with all, that just wins you the game. But if he does have a bounce spell, you just destroy your chances of getting back, because then he can just make very profitable blocks and kill all of your guys in the process. But in the position that she was in, which is lands in hand and not much else. Yeah, if you start waiting and waiting until you draw, well, a card that makes you feel more safe, you just give your opponent the time to draw more creatures and his way out of there. So, well played by Jackie Lee, and she's up for the first game.
One of these two will move to 9-2 after 11 rounds. We've seen some real scraps at the top of European Grand Prix over the last year or so, with huge fields leading to players with incredibly good records across 15 rounds. You're finding people with 12 wins, 2 losses and a draw just not getting in. But we've already seen some 19 points make it in to day 2. That tends to suggest that we're going to have a slightly lower threshold here. Wouldn't surprise me at all if 12-3 is round about the mark, but we'll see. But certainly, at 9-2, you then look to come out of the pod 2-1, 10-2, and then you come back, look to go 2-1 in your final pod and see whether that sneaks you in. But, a reminder that in total, the winner today will play 3 drafts. You've seen one, you've seen Jackie in action. This is the middle round of 3 this morning. Then they all draft again in their pods of 8. Again, just to explain for people coming new to us, you only play within your table. And that's so that different packs have different strengths within them, and taken across 8 players, you don't want to play against people from a different table where maybe they've opened incredibly strong packs because there's lots of Gisellas running around at that table, and draft is always self-correcting within the table because there are the best at the table, the middling and the worst cards at any given table. So that's why we just keep people within their pods, as we call them, pods of 8 players. So you can only play a maximum of 3 out of the 7 other people at your table, and then they all repair and we do it all again.
So there we get a look at Kenyeris Akos, whose deck was taken away by the judge, possibly to check the sleeves, or if there's something wrong with it. Maybe he will have to replace some sleeves.
How often do you replace sleeves? So this is what we call operations for a pro. It's like, do you have good operations? Do you come to a tournament with 300 sleeves to re-sleeve your deck 6 times, or do you buy them on site, or what do you do with sleeves?
Well, to be honest, I'm typically too lazy to buy the sleeves in advance. I generally buy them on the site.
Sure.
I tend to do well, an entire tournament with a pack of sleeves. Say all 16 rounds of a constructed tournament.
Okay.
I would stay with the same sleeves.
Right, so you don't re-sleeve for day 2 or anything like that?
No, at least I don't try to destroy my sleeves while shuffling.
Sure.
But I don't reuse sleeves for another tournament. By then they've gotten pretty worn typically.
Sure. And when we talk about worn sleeves, part of the point of this is that obviously a Magic card, in theory, you can't see what the card is. Over time, you get crinkles in the sleeves, they get little marks on them, sometimes it's just dirt that gets stuck on a sleeve from a table, and you start getting to a point where it's like, yes, strangely enough, it's Tameo, just when I needed it. And so you have to have clean sleeves and unmarked, as we call them.
So it looks like Kenyeris' deck came back okay from the judge, but his opening hand was not okay. Have to mulligan
looks to me like
again.
he's heading for 5 now, isn't he?
Yeah, I think so too.
And if there's ever a time, I mean, no one ever wants to go to 5, but the time that you can get away with that is when you're mid-range and they're control. Because sometimes you get the time to get back into it. Where you get punished for being at 5 is when people just come blistering out of the gate. You don't want to be against a red-white aggro deck when you mulligan to 5.
Yep. Unless you have a bunch of cards that can basically
Stall the game?
No, that have some card advantage built in. Like if you get an opening hand with, I don't know, say 3 lands, a Borderlands Ranger and a Griff Vanguard, yeah, that's not really it.
This is a mulligan to 4 because there was no land in 5.
Yep. Getting back from mulligans to 4 is not impossible.
Just ask Gabriel Nassi.
Yeah, I have also won several games when I mulligan to 4, and when I was on the play. You are many cards down, but there's no need for despair. Magic is still a game where all kinds of things can happen, and you should not slump and be unhappy. You should just pick up the cards and try to make the best out of it. You have some lands, we have some spells. Who knows what might happen, and perhaps the top of your deck can get you out of it.
2-2 split, 2 land, 2 spells. The options are many. Don't be
Yep.
downhearted. Frank says you can win.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. Don't
Sure.
think I have already lost and get in that mindset, because
Absolutely.
then you're definitely going to lose.
There's always a way to lose. There isn't always a way to win, but there's always a way to lose. You just choose to.
That said, of course, with the mulligan to 4, your chances of winning are not as high as when you keep a fine opening hand. And when your opponent is making a 2-drop and a 3-drop, which are rumbling in with haste for 4 damage already on turn 3, you're in a tough position. Nightshade Peddler coming down.
Yeah. Now, if you can only get something else down, anything else down, and pair them, that is absolutely the way to buy time.
In general, yes. In this situation with Handreal lands are giving first strike
Oh,
to Jackie's
yeah,
creatures, first strike trumps that touch.
That is a Vigilante Justice. One of those cards that doesn't impact the board directly, but Jackie clearly has the turn to do that. So here is Nettle Swine. You see, there we go. That's bigger than a Handwheel Answer.
Exactly.
Perfect.
4-3. That's exactly the card you want to stave off a red-white deck. Ooh, that's big. Jackie comes up with a guy that kills the Nightshade Peddler and makes sure that Nettleswine is not going to
paired.
block Fervent Catar.
Smash.
Yeah, that's huge. Getting in for 6 damage on the post. Yeah, Kenyeris doesn't really have much choice. Has to sit back, hope that Jackie plays a creature that he can guy snatch, and then he still has a joint assault to try to win some combat. It's not over yet.
It's close though, right?
Well, we'll see. It depends on whether Jackie can keep on casting spells, such as Defang, essentially nullifying the Nettleswine. Yeah, it can still block, but now it cannot kill any of Jackie's creatures anymore. So on the attack, already putting down Kenyeris to 2 life. And the Geyser Fire after combat to kill the Nettleswine, which already had 2 damage on it after blocking. Essentially, Jackie used 2 cards to deal with 1 card of Kenyeris, but it's good enough to win the game and the match. Congratulations to Jackie Lee, 2-0, and
Evens herself up at 1-1 in this draft pod, and she goes to 9-2.